Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Well, isn't this bag just the sweetest little thing? It is today's project, and when you look at it from the bottom, you can see that it is not your standard square or rectangular shaped bag. And then when you look at it from overhead, you can also see the same thing. And we achieve that look by scoring the front panel smaller than we do the back panel. And then we squeeze in our sides and we have this really fun and cute bag. And it's a pretty large bag. It ends up being 6 by 4.5. And you can put all types of things in here, not just candies, but you can put any small items, small toiletries, nail polishes, little gifts that you may want to give to someone. It's perfect for any occasion. So I have it here decorated for Valentine's Day, but if you swap out the paper, you can make this an all occasion bag. So let's get started on making this. And to make the bag, we need to start with a piece of cardstock paper or decorative cardstock that measures 12 by 9. And on the 12-inch side, we're going to score at 4.5. 6.5, 9.5, and 11.5. And the paper that I'm using is pretty thick, so I am going over my score lines just to get them nice down in those grooves. So then we're going to turn it to the 9-inch side, and we will score at 1 3/4. And then take your paper and flip it. And again, on the 9-inch side, with the 1 3/4 still in the same spot, we're going to score this at 8. And the reason why I flipped it to do this score mark here is because I'm going to fold this backwards, and scoring on the side that you're going to fold will help to prevent your paper from cracking. So I'll put my scoreboard away, and let's go ahead and fold and burnish on our score lines. So this piece here I'm folding backwards. This narrow strip here is my glue fold, so that's where I'll be placing the glue. And then we'll do our final fold and burnish. Okay, and then let's take our glue, and we'll go ahead and glue down this panel here. It's just a decorative little contrasting topper. And now let's go ahead and cut up on our score lines and remove this small narrow triangle that's right here. We're simply going to take that off. But ordinarily you'll see me do a very light angle cut on the bottom panel. This time I'm doing a very deep cut on the bottom panel only because of how we'll have to construct this box. So on these two smaller tabs, we're going to do very deep angle cuts. And on the other two, we will not. So I did a deep angle cut there. Then I did a straight cut there. And I'll do another straight cut on the center panel. But then I'm going to come back and do another deep angle cut. And then another one here. And then I'll remove that. So when you're done, it should look like this. So you'll have these very two deep angle cuts and then just your regular panel pieces. So now we can go ahead and glue our bag together. So this is my glue panel here, and I'm just going to give it a good amount of glue. And then I'll take my other side and just join it, making sure that I've got it lined up and pretty flush on the edges. And then I'll come back with my bone folder and just get that glue nice and stuck to both ends of the paper. So then you're going to be left with something that looks like this. So you can see it's pretty misshapen, and that's exactly what you want. You want it to look like this. And the next thing we want to do is we're going to take these side panels, and you can see why we had to do the deep cut, because we need the panels to be able to fold in. If we didn't do the deep angle cut, then those panels would actually hit the top of this paper. So now we've got this, and we want to take this piece and fold it back, but I'm going to put just a little glue on it because I want it to stay down. So I'm going to glue this down and just hold it for a second. So now it looks like that. And one thing that you notice is that I actually put the panels of this box together very differently from how I ordinarily do it. Ordinarily, this is the back of my box, so I would make sure that I fold it in third and then bring the front piece over and fold it in fourth. But because my back is a lot wider than the front panel, I'm doing it in the opposite direction. So now what I want to do is take my glue and place some there, and I'm placing it on the actual body of the box. And now I can come back and place glue on this bottom panel here to get it nice and stuck. So then I can fold this over, stand it up, and I'll come in with my bone folder and just get that glue nice and stuck. So you can see how I've got some overhang here, and that's coming from the fact that this is not a square box, and it's not intended to be a square bag, I mean. So now what I'll do is I'll come in with my scissors, and I'm going to trim off the excess. Trying to make sure I don't cut the bag. And now we've got a really cute little bag, and it's got a very unique shape to it. So the next thing that I want to do is take my fingers starting at the top, and you can see how I'm pinching in, and I'm just going to pinch in until I have these folded. And then I'll just start pinching down, but not all the way to the bottom, just down enough to give me a nice crease in this bag. So when I turn it to the side and I turn it this way, you can see how the front is a lot smaller than the back, and the back actually flares out. And you can't tell it from looking at it, but that is very, very pretty. So now what I want to do to this is I want to give it some handles. And I'm not going to do anything really elaborate to this. I'm just going to use two pieces of paper, or two strips of paper, that measure 10 by 3/4. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to hot glue it into place. And you can use hot glue or you can use wet glue. It's totally up to you. So what I'm going to do is bring it to about right here, this far from this point, and hold that down for just a second. And then I'll loop this over, and I'm going to try to match it on this side. So I'm going to put some hot glue on here, And then I'll loop this over. Try not to burn my hands. And I'll put it down. And if you don't get it exact, that's okay, because we're going to put a bow on this, and that'll just cover up any imperfections that you might have here. So now let's do the back side. So I'm going to take my glue and put it right on here. And then I'll eyeball it and just try to match up where I've got that front handle. Now let me hold this for just a second. And then I'll put glue on this one. And let me place this down. And then lastly, I want to go ahead and put a bow on here, and I made this bow using my 1-2-3 board, punch board. And I'm just going to add some glue, take my bow, and try to get it centered right there. And then I have this little sticker that I mounted to some decorative paper, and I'm just going to take it and tuck it right under here, lifting my bow up just a little bit. And there we have a very beautiful bag, and it was very simple. It doesn't take long to make this, but you end up with a bag that has a very unique shape like this. Fill it with some candies, some little toiletries, change out the papers. You can use this bag for any occasion. I hope you guys have fun with this. Give it a try. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online family. You guys have fun with this, and I'll chat later. Bye.